Okay, this is a reaction. This is another one from Wolters World. Ugly tourists in Finland. Now, I've never been to Finland. How do tourists upset the Finns? Well, I'm kind of curious about this one because, like I said, I have no clue how I would upset somebody from Finland. Maybe I could talk to them about the 1980 Olympics when the United States beat them to win the gold medal, but I don't think they really care about that. Maybe they do, but it's been, what, you know, almost over 40 years since that happened. I do remember a great soccer player who played for Ajax, Yari Litmanen, played for Liverpool briefly, and Barcelona too, I think. Good player. But let's see how I don't want to upset people from Finland, but so I'm going to learn how to not upset the Finns.
Hey fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Turku, Finland, my old stomping grounds. And today we're going to talk about our different ways that tourists can upset the locals when they come here to Finland. And
You really don't want to do that whenever you come to a city, state, or a country. So yeah, these. It's pretty good that he puts these videos out.
And I'll be honest, it's going to be hard to find out you upset the Finns because they're pretty stoic, they're pretty laid back, they don't like to cause a lot of ruckus, but there are some things that tourists do that might irk them just a little bit. And I want you to have a great time when you're here because it's a beautiful country with wonderful places to go and visit and see and do, and you don't want to upset the locals when you're here. And I think the first thing that you might do that might upset the locals is if you say sauna wrong. I mean, sauna is from here, not sauna. There's no sawing in sauna, okay? If you're not sure what a sauna is, it's that hot kind of...
Yeah, I know what a sauna is, but sauna. Okay, I won't. That's good.
like...
I mean, how is it spelled like sauna, and that's why you say it? Because Americans are going to say what it looks like because they know how to spell sauna.
Hot room where there's the rocks and they pour the water on, the steam comes around, like, oh, and it just makes you feel alive when you go in there, and they love it here. I mean, people have saunas in their home, they have them in their apartments, they have them in their apartment buildings, they have them at the hotels. Like, you'll check into your hotel and they'll be like, oh, the male sauna is from 8 till 10 tonight, it'll be hot, and the female is from 6 until 8, like they have it all set up, and it's a big thing here. And if you call it sauna, they'll be like, dude, nah.
Okay, so it's a sauna. Okay, so we call it a sauna. Oh, you say potato, I say potato. You say tomato, I say tomato. Come on.
Okay, it's sauna. Okay, so that's one thing. Also, I think another important thing is if you don't have the right sauna etiquette when you're here, now no one's going to say anything, but there's some things you should know because, one, you don't wear clothes in the sauna. It is all au natural, okay? And if you're going in with your swim trunks or your pair of shorts or your undies, yeah, no. Okay, they'll tell you we got towels there for you. Okay, so you can take your clothes with you and then change out of them and then go in the sauna with your towel, but it is a naked thing here. And I think another thing that sometimes tourists don't understand is, like, when you go to the sauna, it's guys go together and women go together. Okay, it's not a mixed sex thing, it's separate, hence why they're like men from 8 to 10 and women from 6 to 8, because that's how it is. And you will really kind of upset people if you try.
I'm sure there are places where it's co-ed, where men and women go in at the same time. It's not something that in America. America, they'd have one for the men, one for the women. It wouldn't be like just one sauna and men go in from this to this and women go in from that to that. They would just have one room for men, one room for women. Well, it's good to know. But I'm guessing what he's about to tell us here is that if a man and a woman want to go in together, they may frown on it, but let's find out.
To kind of sexualize sauna because that's just not it. It's like sexualizing going.
Well, that's not why you go in there in the first place. I mean, there's places to do things like that. But I mean, if I was with my girlfriend and we decided to both go in there together, I don't think that's, well, I could be wrong.
The bathroom, it's just something people do. Like, like sauna is just a place where Finns go and relax and sweat out the stress of the day, okay? So those are some things I think is important in terms of the sauna etiquette that can upset the locals. But I think one thing that will really upset them, that if you really want to, like, poke the Finn, okay, is to say anything nice about Sweden, but say...
Okay, so if I'm in Finland and I say, wow, those Swedes were really, really nice people no. Those, I hate Sweden. That's what I need to say. I need to tell. Yeah. There's a way to compliment both. I say those Swedes were wonderful, but those Finns, hey. So don't say anything positive about Sweden when you're in Finland.
say something nice about Sweden in a way that Sweden seems better than Finland, especially in ice hockey, because oh my god, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people almost come to blows here, which is insane when it came to Sweden versus Finland ice hockey. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a Finland fan. Finnish ice hockey is awesome. Go to games when you're here. Tepsi, go to see one of their games when you're here in Turku. It's awesome. But do realize that if you say, well, Finnish hockey's nice,
Yeah, Finnish hockey's nice, but wait till you see those Swedes play. Whoa.
but Swedish stuff or Swedish food or Swedish whatever, no, people are not going to like that. You're not going to make any friends that way. So be aware of that one. But I think the one that you as a tourist might bump into.
But again, why would you do that? I mean, if I'm in Finland, why would I start talking about Sweden? Wouldn't I be more inclined to talk about Finland if I was in Finland?
And not deal with that you might not even realize you're upsetting people is if you're loud. Look, I've done
That's something that American be loud or just talk on the public transportation. That's something Americans get blamed for a lot is that we're loud.
my best to try to get away from everybody I can to film this so I'm not upsetting the locals because the Finns like quiet. They like to be in nature. They like to be silent. Like I was at a parade today and you could talk in a normal conversation while the parade was going on. And so whether you're in public transportation or on the train or going out to eat, you don't have a lot of like loudness, okay? So if you're a loud, boisterous person, just know there's probably some Finn going, oh God, could that person just be quiet, okay? I mean, if you take the train, they have a special little cabinet you go into to talk on the phone, all right? Now, another thing that they probably won't bring up to you, but people like kind of look at you a little strangely, is if you kind of invade their personal space because Finland's
Again, this is another thing that Americans are accused of doing. When I watch these videos, Americans generally invade space and they're loud. And I mean, this probably should be on every video for around the world.
a huge country with not a lot of population, so people have some space here, and they like their space. And if you get too close to them, they do not appreciate that. They like their bubble. So give your Finnish friends the bubble when you're here. Say hi. Don't run up and give them a hug and kiss. Say, hey, how you doing?
Well, I'm not going to walk up to any Finn and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Then give them a hug and kiss. I'm not going to do that. Come on.
Now, on another thing, when it can kind of upset the locals, is basically your geographic knowledge. I lived here in Finland, and when I told people I was going to Finland, they're like, oh, is that like part of Russia? Because it's
Finland. Again, the one thing that I know about Europe, okay, the thing that I didn't even, when I went there, and this is something that I didn't even think about. In America, you tend to think of here's the United States and then here's Europe. The reality is here's Europe, okay? It's up farther north, and you're going up, and the farther north. I mean, Finland is. It's not at the North Pole, but it's closer to the North Pole than where the United States is. And so, if you're going up to Finland, I know it's to the Russia's to the uh, east of it, but no, Finland is not a part of Russia. It's its own country.
it's right on Russia's border. Look, do not associate Finland with Russia ever. No, they don't speak Russian here. They speak Finnish and Swedish. Those are two official languages, and they speak English better than me or you, okay? That's how they roll. This is
Everybody speaks English better than us. I mean, when I was in Germany, they spoke English better than me. In Germany,
not Soviet Finland. I mean, back in the day, they used to have the sticker for cars in Finland. It said SF for Suomi, which is Finland in Finnish, and Finland, which is Finland in Swedish, okay? But people are going, oh, is that Soviet Finland? You're like, no, you morons. Ugh. So now you just see Finn as their.
now to be fair, I never ever considered Finland part of Russia or part of the Soviet Union. It was its own separate country.
Little tag, okay? But honestly, like, the Winter War was 100 years ago, but for people, it was something that the Finns are really serious about. Like, we went to war with Russia and beat them to save our country. So there's not a lot of friendliness between the two. So that's not really something you want to kind of bring up. So just have a heads up.
Which kind of explains why a bunch of Russians were trying to get into Finland to avoid going to military service, and the Finns weren't too happy about it.
For that one. Another thing I think that might get your Finnish friends a little out of sorts is if you don't kind of follow the Finnish rules, because
Again, that's something that would if we have our rules in the United States, and if you don't know what the rules are, you might not follow them. But when you go, that's why I would hope that if you're coming to the United States, you would learn what etiquette we have here. And I would hope that if I ever go to Finland, that I would do the same. Follow the rules. Don't don't come in and start imposing yourself on the locals. That's not a good thing.
The Finns like to follow rules, like we have rules, so they should be followed. And the Finns are very good at following them, whether it is, waiting to cross the street, or you don't be late. You said you'd be there at 8 o'clock. You will be there at 8 o'clock. And people don't really take kindly if you don't kind of keep your word and go by the normal rules that they expect you to do. So whatever you say you're going to do, make sure you do it. But the thing is, the Finns are very hospitable people. Like, they will share with you. They will have a good time with you. It'll be wonderful. But I will warn you, you might like freak them out if you show up unexpectedly. I mean, I know when I used to live here, I could make plans with my friends and we'd have it down. We'd meet at 6 o'clock and they'd be there at 6. But if I would just happen to be going by their apartment and knock on the door or ring the bell, they're like, "What are you doing here?" And they literally look at me like, "I don't know who you are."
Yeah, that's something that's also true to some places. Look, there's some people in the United States, like if I'm sitting here like that and my buddy comes by and knocks on the door, he didn't tell me he was coming over. He just happens to pop on by. I don't have a problem with that. Most Americans don't have a problem with that. My brother, on the other hand, he even told me this a long time ago. Even me, his younger brother. If I'm happen to be in his neck of the woods, don't just pop on by unexpectedly. Don't do things like that. And that's in America. It's not necessarily a bad thing to do, uh, but it's always good to at least if you're 5 minutes out, say, "Hey, I'm in the area. Mind if I stop on by?" But again, this is something that I could certainly understand.
Because Mark was supposed to be here at 8 and you're here at 6 o'clock. Like, who are you? I mean, it was really, really crazy, but they don't like that surprise visit kind of stuff. So do be aware of that. And also,
And I'm sure there's some Finnish people who don't mind it, but as a general rule, it's probably some right to follow it.
if you go into somebody's house and you don't take off your shoes, that's going to upset them. And most likely they'll be like, "Shoes off." And they might even have
Again, some places, you hear about that, take your shoes off. Other places you don't. In the United States, now if I go to my sister's place, I do take off my shoes because that's what she requires. But other places, other people just don't. It's not a big thing, but it's nice to know that if you ever go to Finland, please take your shoes off.
slippers for you when you're there. So that's nice. But yeah, that's another little thing to have a heads up on, man. Take those shoes off. Oh, and going back to that rules kind of thing, there's also the cue culture here. And Finns, if you actually want to hear them say something, then queue jump or line jump, because they'll be like, "Hey, the line."
Again, jumping the line is that should be universal. Don't ever jump the line. Okay, don't ever get in place. Don't ever jump the line. It's rude. It's wrong, and it should never ever happen.
Lines back there, pal. Like, they will actually say something. Most of the time, Finns don't say anything. When it comes to line jumpers, they're not cool with that. They're not really happy with the German tourists who just kind of smash everything up in here. Yeah, that's not cool. And also, if you're a German tourist, they usually don't like you because you have this reputation for being cheap and bringing all your food from Germany here instead of buying stuff in Finland. So
Well, I did not know that. Since I'm not German, I'm not going to do that. Then I guess I'm off the hook. But yeah,
that's another thing that might upset the Finns if you're coming here. So just want to give you a heads up for that. But honestly, the Finns are really nice people. They're very kind of reserved and kind of held back. But once they get to know you or once they want to talk to you, you'll see they'll talk your ear off. They're wonderful people. But there are a few things that might get them a little irked. So do be careful with that. And also, if it's a late night Friday or Saturday night and people have been drinking too much, that's always anywhere in the world a time when you don't want to irk people off. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope this helps you know how not to upset your Finnish friends. If I missed any of those little things that upset the Finns, please put it in the comment section below so we can help other people come and enjoy Finland and not upset our Finnish friends, because they are really wonderful. So I'll say moi moi or bye bye from here in Turku, Finland.
okay, that's a good video. Ugly tourists in Finland. How tourists upset the Finns. Well, again, these videos are very helpful. Uh, don't want to upset the people from another country. It doesn't matter if it's Finland, Greece, Chad, South Africa, Australia, whatever. Okay, it's nice to know that if I ever go to Finland, I don't want to say, "Hey, you Finns do a good job, but wait till you go over to Sweden." That's don't do that. Okay, good to know. Uh, Thanks, and also know that they're not part of the Soviet Union or Russia, which I knew already. But hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please click like, share, and subscribe for Wolters World, and please click like, share, and subscribe for me. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.